Thank you, Heather. And we continue to track the progress of a dangerous storm here. Meteorologist Josh Johns and I will no doubt be watching this thing for as long as it makes its way across North Texas. What we know right now is that this thing has already produced wind damage. Very strong straight line winds in excess of 60, probably up to 70 miles an hour. We've heard of some trees being snapped, power lines as well. The movement of this storm is actually to the southeast here. That's not unusual for a big supercell like this one. The large hail is right here where you're seeing some of these very dark red colors and purple colors, and it could be up to the size of baseballs here. So we've got that element of the storm as well. And then embedded within the rain here is a very wide circulation right now. And what we're watching very closely is for this thing to tighten up a little bit. Right now we know it is spinning. There's no question about that. It is certainly capable of producing a tornado. That's why the tornado warning continues for Jack County through at least 8:30 this evening. Jacksboro, 8:09, your estimated arrival time. I know that's a little bit later than we first gave you an indication of about 5 minutes or so ago when we broke on the air, but this thing is slowed down just a little bit. Vineyard at 8:29, Joplin at 8:36. But if you're anywhere in the tornado warning polygon here, and that's the red polygon that you see there, we want you in your tornado safe shelter. So what does that mean? Again, lowest floor available, away from exterior walls or windows, in a closet or a bathroom. If you can grab some heavy cushions from a sofa, perhaps some heavy pillows to add for extra protection, by all means do so. But we want you to take this very seriously because we certainly could have a developing tornado moving southeastward here through Jack County. Josh is back in the Weather Center as well. He's got his eye on the chat session, and so we're going to go back and forth here to try to give you the very latest information. Josh, anything new there from the chat?
Yeah, we do have the report of the road tree snapped and a power pole snapped at 149 in Puddin Valley. That's north of Jacksboro. I'm also seeing reports of quarter-size hail falling in the city of Cundiff now. Cundiff is to the northeast of Jacksboro, and I continue to watch a feed here from our chaser, Aaron Essman. Let me go ahead and take that real quick on Scam 1. So if you can hear that back there, Nicole, Scam 1 has a view of that. And we can see the feed from Aaron, and he is approaching the mesocyclone of this storm, Dan, and it looks kind of dark there. So I'm watching that closely. I'm also watching reports from the Weather Service. We also have just a very tight or a very broad circulation, as you mentioned, but it is tightening up. You can see there where we have the radar folding. If you take there's the view from Aaron right there. That's going to be looking towards the storm, Dan, from the south. So he appears to be, let me see where he's at real quick. I'll take a look and see where he's at. And last check, he is actually coming up 148 north of Jacksboro. So he's looking directly into the core of that thing. And you can see the large hail. You don't see much of the circulation. I think a lot of it is probably wrapped up in rain, but it is a very broad circulation that at times is tightening up. And some of the last few scans of it, if we can go back to the radar, show that tightening up there to the northeast of Jacksboro. This is going to be between Highway 59 and Post Oak Road to the west of Cundiff. So there's the feed, and I'm looking off air at the radar that shows this tightening up, Dan.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. And I'm going to read for you here the very latest information from the National Weather Service. They reissued this tornado warning just moments ago, still saying that the tornado is located roughly 7 miles north of Jacksboro. It's moving southeast at 25 miles an hour. Again, it's not confirmed, but when we are looking at rotation like this, very broad, well-defined, strong rotation in the mid-levels of the atmosphere here, that tells us that certainly there is a good possibility that we could be looking at a developing tornado. Also keeping in mind that this storm has had a history of producing certainly one confirmed tornado. According to Chad, it's produced at least 2 tornadoes, and I've actually seen some photographic evidence of that as well when it was up near the Archer City area. But there you go. It is roughly 7 miles northeast of Jacksboro right now and 6 miles due west of Cundiff there. This thing is also capable of producing up to baseball-sized hail and wind gusts at least up to 70 miles an hour. The dangerous storm will be near Lake Bridgeport at around 8:20. Other locations impacted by this potentially tornadic thunderstorm include Lost Creek Reservoir, Wizard Wells, Vineyard, and Cundiff. And we showed you probably as you were looking at Josh a few minutes ago, you could see over the top of his head that giant hail. It was in excess of 2 to 3 inches in diameter, so a jagged baseball-sized hail. There it is. That'll give you the idea of some of the hail that this thing has been producing. And anytime a storm is producing hail that large, we know it's powerful because you've got to have a very, very strong updraft close to 100 miles an hour to be able to suspend chunks of ice that large. And anytime, of course, you've got wind that's blowing up that strong, it's also going to be blowing down in the form of downdrafts and straight line winds. And so that's why this could also produce some destructive winds as it moves to the southeast here. Notice our storm here may be kind of almost in the process of splitting. And this is severe as well up to the north in Montague County. So we've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for you folks there, especially around the city of Bowie. Large hail and damaging wind gusts. But this was a single storm as of about 30 to 45 minutes ago, and I think it might be in the process here of splitting. That's also something that happens a lot of times with these supercells, and in all likelihood what we'll see is the northern split here move more off to the east, while this southern split, which right now at least is the more intense storm, continues its southeastward motion from Jack County down into Wise County here. So this is likely going to be one to watch for quite some time here. This is more than likely going to be a long-lived supercell that tracks for miles and miles and has the potential of producing severe weather across several counties here in North Texas. And it is certainly not out of the question at all that if it holds together and continues moving southeastward, that at some point it is going to be a risk for more populated areas in Denton County and Tarrant County as well. But for now, our primary concern is here in Jack County, the Jacksboro area up towards the Cundiff area. Embedded within this rain and hail is a very strong circulation right now. It is very broad, but very strong. And what we're watching very carefully is to see if this thing tightens up a little bit, gets a little bit better organized. And if it does, it would likely produce a tornado here. Josh, anything from the chat session?
Yeah, I was going to tell you to take a peek at Aaron's stream here because we do see at least some rotation within that on the base of the cloud. So if we can take that again on Scam 1 when you have a chance. But what I'm seeing on chat is we have reports now of structure damage 10 miles north of Jacksboro on Post Oak Road, likely from that RFD. If you look closely, though, Dan, you can see the motion in there. There's a little bit of rotation. I believe, from what I'm seeing, he's north of Jacksboro, near the lake, looking off to the northeast, which kind of tracks with what we're seeing, what I can see at least on the map and what I'm seeing in his feed. At times, that was trying to dance around as a funnel. Now it looks a little bit more scudded up, but certainly had a little bit of rotation trying to tightening up on his stream there.
Yeah, and just if you would, Josh, temporarily, let's go back to the radar here, and we'll widen out the scope because we've had some other storms north of the Red River. I just want to touch on that briefly because that will be a secondary area that we're going to watch here. These storms now have gone tornadic, so there are tornado warnings now in effect just up across the Red River here in southern Oklahoma. And I think with time, these are going to push southeast. So we could see an additional tornado threat for some of our Red River counties, namely Fannin County and Lamar County, probably at least an hour from now, but probably sometime in between that 9 and 10 o'clock time frame. We're also going to have to watch these storms as they move to the southeast, crossing the Red River, and potentially produce a tornado threat for those counties. Tornado watch is in effect here for the Dallas-Fort Worth area and points to the north all the way through the Red River until 11 o'clock tonight. These big storms are going to be capable of producing very large destructive hail up to the size of baseballs, up to 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and yes, the potential for some isolated tornadoes. And in one or two instances, these could be significant tornadoes. We also have been noting that, in fact, if you can put the lightning strikes on there, I'm not sure if we're going to see what we were seeing earlier, Josh. Look at this. These lightning strikes are occurring 40 to 50 miles away from the actual supercell itself. So we're getting several lightning strikes now in Denton County and northern Tarrant County. And if you were to walk outside right now, you would actually maybe see some blue sky out there. So these are the bolts out of the blue. They originate from very high up in the anvil of the thunderstorm itself. So they can actually be some pretty powerful lightning strikes, but no rain occurring at all here with all these lightning strikes. What that tells us is that this is a very, very powerful thunderstorm, and it is capable of producing all modes of severe weather. Josh?
Yeah, I'm continuing to look at some off-air stuff, and it looks like we have some pretty healthy inflow into the storm. So a sign that that is still a very healthy storm moving through. We also have reports of 2-inch size hail in Cundiff, and there has also been rotation that has tightened west of Bowie, so a tornado warning will be coming for Montague County too. So we have two parts of this storm we're worried about. The one moving through Jack County right now, and it now looks like tornado rotation is tightened. There's the warning. It does include Bowie now. So we have both Jacksboro and Bowie under tornado warnings. Dan, that tornado warning for Montague County going until 9 o'clock. Hail size up to 1/4, but the main threat continues to be that rotation, and that rotation looks to be between 59 and 174 to the west of Bowie. I'll denote it with a little rotation icon here. And again, that's west of Bowie. It's not as tight as some of the rotation we were seeing in Jack County, but the Weather Service has at least seen enough data from this to indicate that they need to issue a tornado warning for that. That rotation about 3 miles to the west of Bowie.